G'day guys, welcome to this week's weekly developer update. I'm CW and joining once again we have Armenaio. How are you, mate?
Doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Crazy day in crypto. We're filming this on Friday when things are happening.
Yeah, I woke up here in
Little red
Australia
out
and
there.
there's a bloodbath and everyone's crying and Elon doesn't love us anymore and this and that and another day in crypto, isn't it?
Yeah, it's another day in crypto. Looking a little red out there. It happens from time to time, but luckily we got a lot going on.
Yeah, most definitely. So internally, we've had the recent launch of duckpools, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah. It's a basic DeFi primitive, allows for lending. People can potentially collateralize their assets, go long, go short. They can potentially earn some yield on what they hold. And the truth is, being a proof of work coin, even if you're printing whatever the erg pool's printing right now, that's more than it's going to be printing in your wallet, right?
100%, mate.
There's a certain incentive there. I'm really excited to see, how it evolves. It's nice to see liquidity. What was it at?
It's sitting at it's actually cracked 150,000 in eval, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty wild for being a new framework. So it opens doors, possibilities. I'm curious to see, who gets creative, what strategies people come up with, and longer term, how is it going to work with Rosen Bridge? How's it going to work with other new DeFi primitives that come online? We got what? Dexy, potentially Sigma Gold. So there's a lot of new and interesting tools that are coming out that kind of building blocks for the future.
Yeah, most definitely. And I've seen a couple of people actually build leveraged positions utilizing duckpools, and it's kind of borrowing an asset, utilizing that then to use as collateral and borrow again against that. It's one way to one scenario that could play out, but you could utilize borrowing through duckpools and post up on Sigmafy and leverage that way. There's numerous sort of ways to go about things, and we'll see how people within the ecosystem do get creative on that front.
Manage your risks and trade well. That's all I have to say when it comes to that type of thing. We'll see longer term what strategies become, popular.
One thing I'd love to see is miners get on board as well and utilize more DeFi in the ecosystem, because there's opportunity there, and whether that's providing liquidity, getting on board and having a little bit of leverage and earn some yield on your erg that you're possibly just going to sell. It's interesting for miners to step in and get on board with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. All right, mate. Well, let's jump into this week's update. A lot of things going on once again. Kicking things off, we have Luivatra. You want to take that one?
Sure. Looks like with Paideia beta, the in-house testing is going well. Created proposal and voted through the front end. Some bugs need to be ironed out before the public, a large part being the UX related. Example would be action belonging to proposals not visible in the front end. So if you're not 100% sure what you're voting for, the description could be fake. That's probably good to iron out. Some small back-end bugs also need fixing. So it'll take a few more weeks before the public beta. Something like that. I think, take the time you need.
Yeah, most definitely.
A lot of people that say win, 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 but then if you launch something that's not exactly working, that's a big headache.
Yeah.
With Crux, got access to TradingView advanced charts with trade analysis tools. Prepared data foundation for most phase 1 features in a Explorer-like database. Finished the indexer that fills the database, including fork detection and rollback. Chain indexer will index until current node height and then switch to listening to 0 MQ messages, so new blocks are indexed instantly. Transformed the generic index data into spectrum-specific data to help with asset valuation. and OHLCV data for charts. Next up, create API for front end to support simple MVP version of charts, token overview, token dex activity, and portfolio overview. And we'll try to get most common token types in, so it'll be easy to see value off a vesting key or LP farm tokens. That's pretty cool.
Nice. And encourage everyone to jump on the Crux Twitter as well, because they've had a couple of little sneaky screenshots of the UI for various sort of different dashboards. It's pretty interesting, and I have to admit, quite a bit of eye candy going on there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, next up we have Kushti and the protocol and reference client R&D front. On the P2P layer improvements, PRs towards 5.0.14. Got a couple of links there. Small refactoring PR for 2025. And also working on compact blocks, fast confirmations, and sidechains white paper. So we're happy to discuss some ideas. And it looks like that's going ahead in the L2 group. I've seen a couple of comments there. So if anyone's interested to get on board there and provide some insight or recommendations and have some pretty in-depth conversations around scaling or L2 solutions, by all means, jump in there. Okay, next on to Dexy. So code for us is testing in-memory caching for some APIs. And then after that, we'll add intervention and extract job to the back end. And Dmitry Yusov is working with Spectrum devs on getting testnet LP front end done for private and then public testing. And then he's also doing some reviewing for as per the requests and everything that sort of goes on in the ecosystem. So he's always allocates a little bit of time there, which is greatly appreciated in the ecosystem.
All right. Next, we have greenhat. Looks like he's contributing to revamp the ErgoTree evaluation errors and implementing a pretty printer for ErgoTree. Did a full test for an index out of bounds error for collections and implemented pretty printer for a bunch of IR code nodes. Now going through the code where eval error was thrown and checking out any missing details. Also started pretty printer implementation for S types and literals. Here's what index out of bound error looks like so far. On a personal note, I want to take a vacation from August 24th to September 1st. Oh, nice. Hope we go somewhere warm, right?
Yeah, bit of sunshine. Okay, next we have Koutelier and the Comet update. So they've launched their own multi-chain DEX. So it took them 10 minutes to build it, which is these guys work at breakneck speed. So there's a few bugs that still exist. Bug while switching to different network, and the mobile isn't compatible. So probably more they didn't test because they didn't test it much. Also, PS, any resemble with any other DEX on Ergo is just a coincidence. So something tells me they might have forked Spectrum.
Yeah, they probably forked Spectrum. Now the question is, will they maintain it? I heard there was a Spectrum, or there was not a Spectrum. There was a Comet wallet, right?
Comet wallet, and that was forked from Captain Nemo, I think it was.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened to that. If it was ever maintained or if it's just an older version now, right?
Yeah, have to jump onto the Git and have a look.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Looks like next we have Glasgow. I created a one-pager intro into Ergo for developers with all the most relevant docs, repos, tutorials, etc. Let me know if there's any glaring omissions or something that definitely shouldn't be included.
Awesome. Working hard there. It's probably worth a mention as well, jumping onto the docs.ergo platform site, because it's just a plethora of information, and Glasgow's sort of delved into forums, Discord, Telegram, and just put all this sort of documentation together. So if you can actually, he's done it in a way where he's basically put all the information there and he's filtering through and sort of making sense. So encourage everyone to go there and read it. But then if you can provide some insight and rewriting some of the pages and things like that, by all means, jump on there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's earned the nickname that he gets sometimes, Glass Google.
Yeah. He's got an uncanny way of producing a link near instantly on any subject. So I don't know what's going on there. Glasgow. Arco is working away on his ergexplorer, so he's stumbled across a couple of issues, hoping that Ilya can sort of help out on that front. Kushti's forwarded an update from the TabbyPOS family, so he's working on the dev update. So you can access a below link for further information. So the Tabby guys, they put out a Medium article for the dev update, so jump on there and have a look.
All right, looks like next we have the Nautilus team update. FleetSDK version 0.2.1 was released with new serializer and crypto packages. Started rewriting Ergo script by example using Fleet setup. Planning a V1.0 roadmap, and drops a links to a good discussion. Serializer added full S tuple and S call generic type support. Serializer added Sigma type string representation. With ergomatic, Soizor is making some great progress there. Added a plugin manager, added component concept, added rotating log file support, added a blockchain monitor component, and started blockchain provider implementation.
Sweet.
And those of you that don't know, ergomatic is a off-chain bot framework. With ergo-graphql, added a new query parameter to allow querying boxes by settlement height or creation height. Added custom box ordering support, not implemented in resolvers yet. Added mix take limit to 200 while keeping 50 as default to avoid breaking changes. And I believe there's also some work being done to compress QR codes to try to make ErgoPay a little bit lighter.
Yeah, nice. That'd be cool to see. So there's a 400 character limit, I think, on the size of a QR, and it needs to be 40. I remember Mr. Scharfberger saying something similar to that, so I could be completely way off, but yeah, be pretty cool to see.
Well, I don't remember the stats off the top of my head, but yeah.
I remember hearing something. And also, probably important thing to make mention, the Fleet SDK. Remember seeing a tweet, or was it a Git link, about renaming the SDK to potentially something that's a little bit more recognizable on the development front.
Yeah, I'm terrible at that.
So yeah, I remember seeing something, it might have been on GitHub. If you have any insight in regards to renaming, whether it's ergo.sdk, something similar, though, there's a couple of examples up there. So by all means, provide some insight and yeah, let the captain know on that front. Okay, next we have Aberg, who's the Saturgo dev. He's working on the Ergonnection P2P library. So there's a new version which handles disconnections better, also fixed the testnet magic constant, and Maven Central release is close.
Awesome. Next, we have an update from MHS Sam with Rosen Bridge, still testing and fixing some bugs. Check out the repo for details, testing UIs, preparing Docker images and executables. And the current test bridge will be shut down by Saturday. Please consider redeeming your tokens as soon as possible. Well, this video drops on Sunday, so hopefully everybody handles that. I'm sure there will be a couple more announcements that go out.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, next we have C8 and the Bitmasks update. He's created 8 ergo-compatible skeleton models for Cardano creatures, so there's 56 remaining.
All right, then we have Pragmaxim with the uexplorer, implemented asset persistence. One of the last parts of REST API requirements. Now I'm going to work on performance, resilience, and then put it out for other testing in about 2 weeks.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Having a little bit more sort of infrastructure redundancy, taking a little bit of dependency away from the main explorer and everything like that. It's pretty cool. Okay, next we have morpic. So on the Sigma fronts, refactoring and code improvement PRs merged. On Ergo, he's also reviewed Ergo PRs. Has finished a draft for his next article. And then next up, we'll finalize PRs towards 5.0.11 of the Sigma State Interpreter. And he's continuing multi-sig implementation.
All right, next we have ykristian. Some updates on his side. He's been translating quite a lot to Indonesian, I believe.
Yep.
So translated Rank My Wallet, Spectrum Finance, Comet white paper, duckpools white paper, Greasy Sex white paper, plus mission paper. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Just lower that little bit of that barrier to entry for a number of people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next we have deathgripson and the analog ergo update. It's been mainly working on Atomic API for now and provided a Git link if you want to check that out.
All right, next looks like we have LiquidPhase with terahertz.fm. Set up multi-tendency subdomains, set up support for custom domain names pointing to users, labels, artists' own subdomain page, made more progress on the front end, and UI UX, so began reaching out to music social influencer types to begin discussions. Began working on integrating Sigma Rust into a Mac OS Safari extension version of Nautilus Wallet. So Mac users who don't like Chrome can have the option to DApp connect with Nautilus.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, if you're interested in music or you have any of that sort of background, by all means reach out. And next up we have Quokka and the duckpools update. It's pretty simple, this one, fully launched. So I just thought he'd put this in the dev update.
That's awesome.
I like Louis' comment. So we've got one final little update here from ykristian as well. So he's been a bit active in the ecosystem. So added the Ergo tip bot to the Crux channel, NFT support channel, added the Greasy Sex logo on Nautilus. It's unmerged. It's also and the number of translations that we mentioned a little bit earlier.
Awesome.
Okay, that sums up the update.
Hopefully we don't see Comet pools, right?
It's only a matter of time. We'll see how far the TVL goes on there, or if they just use the back end. I remember actually seeing Luivatra's comment in one of the social channels about how the Comet Dex TVL's up around 2 million or whatever it is. And obviously just utilizing the Spectrum back end there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? At least they're trying, right? Staying busy doing fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to do that. Like open source software allows this, open it up and have some play, learn some skills along the way. A little bit of fun on the Comet side, guys. But it's all a learning experience and a bit of fun. And ultimately, it's a bit of promotion on the Spectrum front as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, sometimes mixing it up a little bit can be good, right?
Yep.
And, you know, the truth is, maybe one of these days they'll build something original after, forking and playing around with, existing code. But I don't know. Don't count on it, right?
Well, they've done the lottery. We can give them that.
Yeah, they did do the lottery. We can give them that.
And then they rugged it by giving koutelier the first win, which is all pure coincidence.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning into the developer update. Joe, it's always a pleasure chatting, and thanks everyone for tuning in again.
Have a good one, everybody.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.